Dana Bash, a CNN reporter, live on CNN, saying that the president is the kind of leader we need right now. She got attacked for this, but she was just being very open and honest and giving her live analogy of the president and the administration's response to COVID-19. Take a listen.
This was remarkable from the President of the United States. This is a non-partisan. This is an important thing to note and to applaud from an American standpoint, from a human standpoint. He is being the kind of leader that people need, at least in tone today and yesterday, in tone that people need and want and yearn for in times of crisis and uncertainty.
That's very invasive. Yeah, so listen, I've known Dana Bash for many, many years. She's a great reporter. She's a tough reporter. She's fair. She's honest. She said something there that was positive about the president as to how he was handling this over the last several days. Doesn't mean she is praising his administration on other things, so let's be clear. But the fact is, I think it's good when media acknowledges that a particular activity is being, or a particular problem is being handled well. And Governor Cuomo from New York has said it. Governor Newsom from California said it. I'm actually reading, I'm holding it for our television audience and people that are watching on Facebook. I'm reading The Second World War. It's a 5-volume set by Winston Churchill, because there's a lot of parallels as far as how you manage in a situation like this. And what you don't want is panic, but what you do want is cohesive planning.
The president has invoked
the Defense
Production Act. I mean, just simply what DPA is the primary source of presidential authority to expedite and expand the supply of resources from the U.S. industrial base, so private businesses, to support military, energy, space, and homeland security programs. And then, of course, there's homeland security programs include counterterrorism, Stafford Act, as the president mentioned, which would be the virus kind of scenario, to protect and restore critical infrastructure, and for the continuity of government.
This is a wartime move.
Yes.
With an invisible foe, happens to be a virus, that could wreak serious consequences on our economy. We're already seeing it, but also on our physical health. What the president's done by putting forward the Defense Production Act, utilizing it, is he's now, and the Stafford Act, he's now put in place methods upon which he can utilize the full resources of government to protect the American people. That's what this is.
One of the reasons that will be aided is the fact that the president brought in private industry before he took this action. So, the dialogue had started with them because they will obviously have to be involved. This allows the federal government to contract with private agencies to produce those scarce and critical needs. I think you will see not just bipartisan support, Jay, I think you will see private industry come behind and do it as well.
Dana Bash picked up on the change of tone. So did the governor of the state dealing with the most people infected and the most serious issues involving beds and hospitals. Take a listen to Governor Cuomo this morning, Bite 25.
I had a conversation with the president yesterday. It was an open and honest conversation. We've always had a very good dialogue. Even when we don't agree, we've always had a very good dialogue. But the president and I agreed yesterday, look, we're fighting the same war, and this is a war, and we're in the same trench. And I have your back, you have my back, and we're going to do everything we can for the people of the state of New York. And the president agreed to that, and I agreed to that, and his actions demonstrate that he is doing that.
And Nat, we've heard that from Democrat Governor now Andrew Cuomo this morning. That was before the president announced this new move.
Governor Newsom in California said the same thing.
A very liberal Democrat who said we are working side by side.
What I like is the fact that Washington, D.C., specifically the White House and HHS, are not just coming out and saying, here's all the things you can't do. They are recognizing the role that these faith communities play inside their congregations and then giving them ideas, Jordan, for ways that they can tap in either to government partnerships or just to technology and continue to the services that they provide.
And these are smart plans. They're thoughtful. They're thinking about what the impact can be. I think an example of where the country is right now, and that is the president is not just striking the right tone, but he's taking it seriously so that the right policies are put in place.